Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are tuning in from. Welcome to our student engagement series, where we're going to be sharing all different ways to engage your students inside and outside of the classroom. So our very first session is today. We're going to be covering Flipgrid, Learning Together. My name is Teresa Castro.
And I am Ricardo Recinos.
And we are Technology Tosas from Hacienda La Puente Unified School District. So let's get started. So again, we are going to be learning together. Flipgrid is an amazing tool where the teachers learn together with the students, and we're going to learn so much about this today. We're really excited. Our mission is to help you empower every learner on the planet to share their voice and respect the diverse voices of others. We're giving everyone a voice, regardless of their abilities, regardless of their language. Everybody has a voice, and together we can build global empathy.
And just to add, as a Spanish teacher, it was always very difficult for me to have 35 students try to use the language in an hour class. And Flipgrid, just to give you an idea, was the tool that allowed me to make everybody speak. Everybody had a voice. Everybody could try to use the language. And it basically allowed me to immerse the students, not just inside the classroom, but outside, because I could make them speak anytime I wanted. So great tool.
Absolutely. Flipgrid is social learning. It's simple, it's free, and it makes learning fun for everybody.
And just to give you an idea of how we have used it in our district, we've actually had teachers that have connected to other classes on the other side of the world. We've had our dual immersion classes where our students are learning Chinese, communicating with kids in China that are learning English. And while the kids from China are practicing their English, our kids from over here are practicing their Chinese, going back and forward. We also had a high school group that was working with a dual immersion class in our own district where the kids were practicing Spanish. You know, the dual immersion kids practicing the Spanish with the AP language kids. So many uses for Flipgrid.
Technology gives the quietest student a voice. So just imagine those kids who are struggling readers, things like Ricardo had mentioned, students who are learning a different language, just giving them this vehicle to show what they know without having the challenge of, writing and reading, and just actually be able to express their ideas through video. It's amazing.
Right. And I think we discovered that during distance learning, how we gave the kids another opportunity or another avenue to show mastery. And I think Flipgrid for our teachers was a great tool to do that.
So we're just going to quickly go over this, just a little overview, and then we're actually going to get into it with Ricardo. So we're going to be creating groups, and we think of groups as like your classes or your periods, right?
Correct.
And we are going to be using topics. And for us as teachers, usually our topics are our assignments or whatever questions and things that get your conversation started. And we're going to be learning how to use these videos. Ricardo's going to show us lots of new tools and updates that are going to be really cool and awesome to share with our students. And here, how do you use Flipgrid? This is amazing. So it's not just for a certain age of students. We can use it from pre-K all the way to, professional to college. It's just amazing. We see our little pre-K and our TK and our kinder kids actually use Flipgrid, and we see our high school students using it as well. There's so many different applications for Flipgrid.
And we'll provide on our YouTube comments or Facebook comments a research that was done with Flipgrid, but also a resource for you where you can see how you can use it in any subject you teach, whether it be language arts, whether it be Spanish, art, math. We'll give you different topics that you can use.
So you're going to see today how easy it is to set up your Flipgrid so you could start immediately communicating with your students, with your colleagues, and using this amazing tool. It's going to be really easy to set up. And of course, you can find inspiration. There are lots of resources on there that are ready-made. So if you don't want to start from scratch, you can view things that other teachers and other professionals have made and actually reuse it for yourself. And if you have any questions, Flipgrid is always there for us. So if you are ever stumped, don't be afraid to get into Flipgrid. I know it may seem overwhelming, but it is easy. And if you have a hard time there, they can help you there as well. So here we are. We're going to get ready to empower every voice in our session. Today, we're going to get started.
So the first thing that we have to be aware of that if we have never used Flipgrid, is that we have to set up our educator's account. And the easiest way to do that is just go to flipgrid.com, and then there's going to give you by default, it's going to say educators sign up here. Okay, so let's go ahead and pretend that we've never had an account, and let's go ahead and sign up. So let's click on it, and the first time you do it, it gives you two options. You can sign up with Microsoft, or you can sign up with Google. Now, Flipgrid is a Microsoft tool or application. So I will suggest that you use Microsoft. But let's be honest, if your school is using OneDrive, Outlook, Teams, Words, and basically functions in the office environment, definitely use Microsoft. But let's say that your school is one of the schools that uses Google Classroom, Docs, Drive, Gmail. So you might want to use Google if that's something that you want to do. But it's completely up to you. I always like to tell teachers it is a Microsoft application, it's a Microsoft product. So sometimes some of those new features come out to Microsoft first. So let's go ahead and use Microsoft.
Mhm.
Okay, so the first time you go in, it's going to ask you for your credentials. So let's go ahead and sign in and go ahead and put in your password. And it's going to ask for your permission to use it. So let's go ahead and accept. And it's going to bring you in. It's going to say preparing your Flipgrid experience. And sometimes the first time you set it up, it's going to ask you different questions like you're going to see here. Obviously, your name, your last name, your birthday. This is only to verify age, and it will never be shared with anyone. So it just asks right there. So I'm just going to just write anything in here for now. Okay. Okay. It asks for your region. So I'm just going to say the US, and it's going to ask for community. So over here, you will want to tell it what kids you teach. So for this one, I'm just going to go that I teach maybe elementary. Okay. And I'm going to select that one right there. And let's go ahead and go next. So it's going to set it up for you. And the first time you see it, I want you to see it. Start learning together. You saw this before, but let me walk you through what it looks like, okay? The first thing you see is what Teresa mentioned is your groups. And think about your groups as your classroom maybe, right? Maybe that Spanish 1 class that I teach 3 periods. That's going to be one of my groups. Or maybe my language arts class, or maybe my arts class. That's my group. And inside of each group, I can create topics, which will basically be my assignments. If you think about different assignments inside of that group, that is your classroom, you have assignments inside of it. We kind of mentioned discovery, and this gives you a lot of options. Okay, I want to mention that there's over 40,000 topics in here, but in addition, Flipgrid does a great job with events. If you were ever familiar with Skype in the classroom, they moved it to the Flipgrid environment. And just to give you an idea, I'm not going to spend much time with it, but there's a great event coming up on September 15, where you actually get to talk to the author of the dot. The book basically, and you get to do that if you want to sign up. That's where you would do it. There's other great ones. As I was scrolling to this, I discovered that there is one that would be perfect for dual immersion. Cómo nuestros árboles nos conectan. This is something that I'm definitely pushing at our district to make sure that some of our dual immersion classes are doing, because it's going to be in Spanish. So a lot of resources here, just to give you an idea. That's where discovery is. In addition to that, if you were looking for different topics that you might want to use, they always have a topic of the day, wonder of the day, and you can look them up by subjects. You can look at trending topics and so on and so on. So definitely a great resource to have right in here. Again, if I wanted to look for world languages, I can just go here, STEAM, technology. It will provide all these different topics already created that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, or you could just search for them right here if you wanted to, as you are working with your units or with whatever topic you're working on, okay? You also have the ability to record shorts. I'll talk about shorts in a little bit. I'll use a different account that already has some shorts in here, but I usually use the shorts to show kids how to do things, basically, to show them the new features, how you will add this, how you will add that, and so on and so on. And finally, your account is right here, okay? So over here, you have your profile. I won't spend much time on it, but what I wanted you to see over here is that in your profile, obviously you can change some of the stuff in here if you wanted to, and update it, emails and so on and so on. You also can connect your social in here, media in here, default topics if you wanted to have a default how this is going to be. So for instance, for me, as I talk about setting up a topic, I can set up default topic settings that are always going to be the same for any assignment that I use. So maybe I always want my kids to use their Google address to come in, or maybe I don't want him to. I want it to be an open Flipgrid that everybody's going to be able to access. I can set that up in here too. I can set up how long I want it to be. So by setting this up, it is going to remember my default topics and my default settings that I want for it to work. So just so you know, that's there. And then this is big that we're going to cover at the end. Our district uses Canvas. So we'll show you how you will integrate that with Canvas. But if you were using Google Classroom, you actually will find it right here too. So that's where you're going to find that. So let's go ahead and go back. And for this, what I want to do is I'm going to actually bring my actual account in here so you can see it. And I want you to see what it looks like. So I talked about groups. You'll notice that I have over 40 groups. That's because I don't delete them. And throughout the years, I've collected, my Spanish one from 3 years ago and so on and so on. You'll see Miss Adams' Flipgrid group is right here, which she deals with her TK, other topics that I have in here. So just to give you an idea, this is how it sets it up for you as you create those groups. You also have the option to just change it to a list view if that's what you wanted to do. Gives you a completely different view. Some people like to function out of this view because they have the option to do a lot of things right in here. Okay, so that's completely up to you. You can come in and edit. You can share over here. You can turn it on, turn it off, and you have other options right here. That is completely up to you how you like to function. I like to have it as styles like this. That's just preference. I know Teresa probably likes the other way, and we're gonna disagree on that. And I agree. There's great uses to having it this way. Okay, and probably this will be the best way to have it as you are learning and getting used to it. But if you only have one group, maybe this is gonna be the view too that you might want to use. Okay, so let's say that you wanted to create a group. You would just come over here and create a group, and then you can edit the team if you want to. Flipgrid has a lot of selections already created for you. There's some feature ones. There's art, nature, people, and so on and so on. So I'm just going to pick something from here. I'm just going to pick that one, and I'm going to add it. And I'm going to, so that's what I did right now. Just added it, sorry. And then let's say that I want to call this one my Spanish group. It's Spanish 1, okay? And then over here, it's going to ask you, how do you want your students to actually be able to access this Flipgrid? So I want to be very specific. If you are doing an integration with Google Classroom or with Canvas, this is not really required because Canvas with the integration is going to authenticate those students. But if you were using the Flipgrid through Flipgrid itself, you might want to set this up, okay? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say that my students, and our students at our district have 2 emails. So I'm going to say at hlpnet.net. So they're always going to have to authenticate with an hlpnet.net email or at hlpusd.k12.ca.us. And this is the only way they're going to be able to get into my particular Flipgrid. So let me go ahead and create that group. Okay, and it's right here, and it tells you that it's ready for you to use if you wanted to. But remember, I created the group, but I have not created any topics yet. Okay, so I can close this if I want to right now. But notice that you do have the ability to provide a QR code. You can share it to Google Classroom. You can embed it in the website if you want it, send it to Microsoft Teams, and so on and so on. You could do this if you wanted to. Okay, so now I'm here. By default, it creates a hello, I am this person topic. Okay, I usually like to use this one for my kids to get used to it. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to play with the camera. It's okay to just play around with it. So I don't like to delete it. Some people like to come in here and they like to hide it. Okay. So that's not part of what you're doing, okay? Completely up to you. But again, I like to use it as the tryout one that we get to do whatever we want on it and the kids get to play with it, okay? But let's say that we wanted to add a topic now. I'm just gonna come in here and I'm gonna add a topic. So an assignment basically, right? So let's say what will be a good topic, Teresa, as we try to think about our first Flipgrid.
Introducing themselves, I think.
Okay. Introductions, perfect. And in Spanish, that would be a great one, introductions. Okay, so once you set that up, then you have basically a place where you can put instructions for them. This is great to do because Immersive Reader is part of Flipgrid. So in here, I could add that in here. So let's say, please introduce yourself. Give us, I don't know, 5 things you like. And thinking about Spanish, okay? 5 things, things you don't like. I can type today. You don't like. And also talk about your family. I'm just very, right? I have options in here, and you're pretty familiar with these options. If I wanted to put a link, I could do that. Then over here, notice that you have the ability to add topic media in here. You could add an image if you wanted to. Okay, you could record a video. Okay, if maybe you want to add the instructions for the Flipgrid in a video. right? For those kids that maybe are the little ones that are not reading yet, you might want to do it that way. And you want to record the video with instructions. You can add Bitmojis, GIFs, stickers in here. You can upload a video if you've already created it. You can bring anything from YouTube or Vimeo, and you can also add an integration in here, which I'm not going to spend much time on that right now. By default, your Flipgrid videos are a minute 30, but you can always change that, okay? You can do a 50 seconds all the way up to 10 minutes. Completely up to you. And Teresa, please interrupt me if I miss anything as I'm going through here. You can also add attachments. Maybe you have a Google document with instructions. Maybe you have a slide. Maybe you have a PowerPoint that you want to add. You have the ability to do that here too, okay? So just so you know, you can do that too. I'm not going to add anything on it right now. I'm just going to save it. So now it's ready. Now my topic is ready. Before we had the link to the actual group. Now we have to the specific assignment. Okay, so now you can provide this in many ways if you want. I'm just going to say that I'm all set. So now it's ready to go, and my students can record as I provide this for them. Something that I want to show you that is brand new. This was not here before. But I want you to see that now as an educator, you can actually use member view that is basically going to show you how the students are going to see this. So if I click here, now it's going to show me that particular topic in the way the students are going to look at it, which is a great tool to have, because actually you can come and record a sample for your students if you wanted to do that, so they can get an idea of exactly what you're asking them to do. Okay, so I just wanted you to see that right there. Okay, in here too, I can go back. So notice that it opened in a new window. Before I go over it, notice that you do have the immersive reader button right here too. So for our little ones, I want to show you what that is in a second. And then you can share, as students have you can share the topic basically, or the assignment if you wanted to. But let's go look at it from the point of view of the students. Anything that I missed, Teresa, from this part? No? Okay, perfect. Okay. I'll talk about this ones later on. How you can edit the topic, you can hide it, you can duplicate it, and so on and so on. But let's go look at it from the student's point of view, okay? So over here, our student will come in, and let's say that they might need support reading the instructions again. They can use Immersive Reader, and we won't spend that much time with it. But if I click this, Immersive Reader is going to show up for our students, which allows them to read this with a lot of extra tools and extra supports. It can read it to them.
Please introduce yourself.
You can change the way it looks if you wanted to. And I'll just show you really quick. You can show nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, and so on and so on. We do have a great video on our YouTube channel about Immersive Reader that we can provide. You can do line focus if you wanted to. You can completely translate this to a different language for the student that might need an extra support. Just to show you this right now, I'm just going to go and do, let's do traditional, and let's translate the whole document just so you can see it. Okay, and notice that what's going to happen is that now I have the original instructions next to in a different language for that student that might need that extra support. That is Immersive Reader, and I did not do it justice. I spent 2 seconds on it, but I wanted you to see that that's right there. Let's say that your students wanted to use, for the older ones, their phone to do their Flipgrid. You actually could project that QR code. They could just come with their phone with the app, which we'll talk about at the end, and they'll be able to access that Flipgrid automatically just by going through here. Okay, so let's go ahead, and as a student, let's come in here and add a response. Let's try this, okay? So we're gonna go in here, and it's going to automatically try to open your camera, and let's give it a second. It says it's loading, and it could be that it's trying to find the same camera that I'm using right now, which hopefully it's not doing that. So let's give it a second. So as your students start recording a response, they open it. It's probably the first time they use it. It's going to ask them to allow the camera. Just tell them to allow the camera and also allow the mic. You do have to do that for it to function. But now that we are here, notice that here in the middle is going to be the record button. But I want to show you other tools that we have here, okay? Something that people don't realize that you might have is that over here, you actually can click on it, and the kids can actually add a sticky note. So maybe they know their topic, right? And they know exactly what they have to do. So they might be able to write some notes, maybe some points in that sticky note so that they know what they're going to be saying. Maybe just those key points that they want to add. So to remember as they record that that's going to be available for them right there. So just so you know, that is always available along with what the topic is by just clicking on top right here, okay?
Does the sticky note show as they're recording? Will it end up showing?
It does not that. It will just show whatever
Perfect.
is recording right in here. So it's kind of a great thing, great support that shows up on the side for them to be able to use, right? Okay, I want you to see the options right here. So Flipgrid listen to teachers, and they always listen to teachers, and they're always trying to create new features. Many teachers were asking, what if we have our own clip that the kids already recorded, maybe with their phone, maybe they were out in the open, maybe they were on a field trip, something, and they want to use that as their Flipgrid video. There's no need for them to actually come and record here. If they have that video, they can actually upload a clip right from here. Okay. I know when I started doing Flipgrid with my Spanish students, they were shy and they didn't want to show their face. So Flipgrid listened to us, and they have the ability to come in here and use the mic only. So the kids can just record their voice if that's what you wanted them to do. And that's the way it's going to work if you wanted to do that. Okay. Notice that this is something you have to toggle in and toggle out. So if I want to mirror video, that's not going to work unless I toggle this off. Okay. It's one of those buttons that you got to toggle in and toggle out. Okay. Mirror, maybe they're showing something in front of you, right? And then it might be the other way, right? This is actually correct way, but they actually can switch it, right? So they actually have the ability to do that too. They can mute themselves. I've seen people use this a lot as that maybe they're adding music, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Great tool. Our students can actually record their screen if they wanted to do that. Okay, they actually can start recording their screen. They tell it which one they want to use on their screen, which video they want to use, which mic, and when they start screen recording, it will record their screen for them. So that's a great tool to have too. Let me go ahead and go back. And finally, the settings that you might have over here. Okay, so if I wanted to switch my camera in here, I could do that. Okay, and notice that I'm over here now. Okay, so it's a different camera, so I do have the ability to do that. And same thing with my microphone. Obviously, you have to have more than one camera connected to your device if you wanted to do something like this, but just wanted to make sure that that's something that you are aware of. Okay, and then if I'm ready to record, I will just hit the record button. So we'll give them the countdown for the kids, and then hola, mi nombre es Ricardo, and I will record, right? The students have the ability to pause. Maybe they think that went wrong, right? That didn't work for them. They just come over here and they can retake, and it's going to ask them if they want to cancel. So I'm going to confirm. That goes back, and so we're back to the beginning. So the kids can always re-record if they wanted to do that, okay? They can pause it, like I said, and then I'll show you how that works. But before we go there, I wanted to show you the effects, which are pretty incredible in here, okay? So the first thing that I want you to see is that we have filters. So if I come in here, I can clear the filters, but I can add different filters. Okay, kids love filters, and they can use them inside of Flipgrid. So we can come in here and use many of these filters that are available here. Okay, but again, if I wanted to just clear them, I can just do that. So that's effects for us in there. Okay, that was filter for us. And now notice that we have text in here. Okay, so the kids, maybe they're doing a book report, and I want to add the name of the book in here. So let me go in here. They have different types of text that they can use with different fonts. I want to pick this one right here. Okay, and once I pick it, I can change the font, the color, the stroke, the background if I want it, but I'm happy with it. I'm just going to leave it like that. And maybe I'm doing my report on Harry Potter. Okay, so this is what I want to do my report on. So I'm ready. Okay, I'm going to move it to here. And then something that you might not be aware is that you can keep adding other text if you want to. So let me come over here to effects again, and I'm going to go to text, and let me add another one. Okay. I can move it around if I want to. And something that also it's new is that you're going to notice that actually when our students maybe are doing a report and they have different points with text that they've done. I'll give you an example of this, okay? I'm going to duplicate this Harry Potter over here, okay? So notice how I have it right here. I have two of them, okay? Notice that now the students have the ability to move text to the front and to the back. So you'll see right now how this one is going to, see how the one from the back came to the front, and I can do the same thing and move it to the back so they can show different types of text right there. And obviously they have the ability to delete them if they want to, okay? So kind of a great feature to have if you wanted to use that one in there, okay? In addition, they also have the pen. So as they are recording, they can choose the thickness of it, they can choose the color, and as they're recording, they can actually be writing in here, okay? So I'm talking about maybe soy, no sé, moreno, no, or soy alto, no, if I'm talking, okay, I can use that if I wanted to, okay? So that's kind of a great tool to have right there, okay? Just to show you that one works in there too. You also have the ability to use the board. And then I wanted to show you the board, but before I do the board, I want to delete this. Okay, on Chrome or Google, it works a little bit differently, but I just wanted to delete it that way. But I want to show you the board now. Okay, so let's think about maybe they're working on let's go through some of them. Maybe a math one, or maybe they're doing ELA, right? Whatever it might be, right? They can use the boards to actually be drawing or explaining something in here. So notice that there's a board right there, but I can still come in here and use the pen, and I can use the pen and kind of write on top of it if I wanted to. Something that you can also do in here, and hopefully it will allow me to show you that right now. Let's see if I can let me do it right here. So I did the board. I should be able to split the screen. So maybe I want my picture and see more of the board. I could do that, or I can see more of myself right here if I wanted to. I could do that too. So again, that math problem that I'm working on, right? And I want to make sure that most of the screen is showing that board. I can do that, and I can kind of write in here if I wanted to, right? Like I was doing before. Maybe I want to switch it to red, right? And I'm doing the same thing, right? And then eventually, if I wanted to bring myself back, I could do that too when it comes to just go hitting board and bringing the split of the screen back or forward if I wanted to do that. Kind of a great tool to have, okay? Let's go ahead and clear that. So that is boards. Anything else that you might want to add with that, Teresa? I know that's a great tool as kids are explaining maybe a math problem, maybe they're conjugating a verb and so on and so on. A great tool to have right there. Okay. In addition, notice that we have stickers. We've always had stickers, but now there's so many more, and they've added them with different categories too. So we have new ones, we have expressions, we have people, we have, there's so many, and I'm going to show you something that is really, really cool. Maybe I want to use an arrow, and there's a reason why I want to use an arrow, okay? Okay, so notice this little arrow right here that I want to use, okay? I want to bring that one in. So let me bring it in. It's kind of big. So let's make it small. But what I want you to see is that if I hit record, and maybe I'm going through points, maybe I'm making points, point 1, point 2, point 3. I still have the ability to move the arrow, okay? So first I did this one. This was my first step. This was my second step. This was my third step, and so on and so on. And I can move that emoji as I'm recording, which is a great tool to have to make my points. So I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that right there, okay? Let me get rid of it. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to effects. I also have the ability to add GIFs. Our kids love them, and they're stickers, and I can add whatever I want to. So let's just pick this one up, and notice our kids are going to have a blast with this one right here as they add GIFs everywhere. And I know we're trying to have them obviously show us mastery or something, right? But we also want them to have fun, right? Teresa, any suggestions on how you might want to use this?
I mean, it's just a matter of management, I'm sure, just letting kids know like their limitations on things. But at first you just want let them go free and do what they want to do and enjoy all the tools. And then of course you put your parameters depending on what your assignment is. So that it's not just going to be gifts all the time, so making sure that they're getting their point across, but these are just fun tools for them to use. But
and just to add, you could have more than one, and you have the ability to send them to the back or send them to the front, just like we did with text before. So just so you know, that's also available right there. So as we move through our effects, you also have the ability to add media. So notice that if I click on here, it's going to allow me to add an image or a video. I can just drag it if I want to. I'm just going to click on it. And notice that I can bring, if I wanted to bring a video, I could, but I'm sticking with my Harry Potter project today. I'm going to open it, and notice that it's going to bring that book in. And now as I am presenting or creating my Flipgrid, I can move it to the side, and I can put it right there. Kind of a great tool to have, okay? So that's great to have. Let me get rid of this ones right here, okay? As we move through frames, okay? Our students love frames, and I want you to see frames right here, okay? So as I'm presenting, I have many options to use a frame in here. Okay, there's so many of them. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I wanted you to see those right there.
kids love those
Teresa,
too.
kids loves that too. And obviously Teresa loves them too because she's very entertained by them. So that was effects. I know all of us are going to find some great tools that our students can use when it comes to creating those assignments. And let's move on to backdrops now. This is actually a great tool that I was introduced to it, and I was just blown away by it. Notice that the students can add their own video or picture as a backdrop. So that Harry Potter picture that I had on the side, maybe I want it to be my backdrop behind me, and that could be something that I could do if I wanted to just use the plus. I can blur the screen for those kids that maybe don't want to show what's behind them. They could do that too, or maybe they're in the classroom recording and there's other kids recording behind them, so they might want to just hit the blur so you don't see the other kids that are right next to them recording, okay? There's some other ones. Maybe I'm working on a Minecraft assignment. I can do that in here. Okay, I can come over here and use just so many different types of backdrops that I can use in here, okay? And one of the great things about it, and I discovered this just recently, is that you also have the ability to use your screen as a backdrop. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to click on here, and it's going to ask you if you want to use the entire screen, you want to use your window or micro edge tab. I'm just going to go to Windows, and I'm going to use the PowerPoint that we were using at the beginning of our presentation today. And notice that I can go ahead and share that. And maybe I want to use this as I'm presenting, right? My PowerPoint. Notice that down here, I have the ability to make myself to move it to the left, right? And I'm smaller, and I can make myself little. So I'm not part of the screen anymore. And if I come in here into my PowerPoint, I'll be able to just present the PowerPoint. And here, if I wanted to, I also have the ability to move myself back bigger, okay? Or to the side. And again, the ability to just move myself all over the place. So a great tool to have. Move it back again so you can see it. So back to my original size, right? I can move it again smaller, right? So that's a great tool to have when it comes to the backdrops too. Our kids are ready to record, right? Just wanted to go through that. They could have done some of this stuff while they're recording, but I wanted you to see all of the different tools. So I'm going to hit record. 3, 2, 1. Hola, mi nombre es. Again, notice that I have the ability to use any of these tools while I'm recording. So if I wanted to switch this and I wanted to clear that, I could. If I wanted to add a different backdrop, I could. If I wanted to make myself smaller, I could. So those options are there while they're actually recording. The effects, same idea. They're actually up there while they're recording. So I can come in here and be able to use the pen if I wanted to as I am recording. So something to remember, that just because they were at the beginning, you can also use them when you're recording, okay? So all of those tools are there for you to use. Here's my clear button. I couldn't find it before, but notice I can clear everything that I was doing. I can undo or redo if I wanted to do that, okay? And let's say that maybe I'm done recording now, okay? So I'm done, okay? I'm gonna pause it, okay? The kids can pause it. Maybe they're not done. They can keep recording again. Okay, so again, there's not just one take. Remember, you can pause it. I've seen some kids do the what do they call that when it stops and goes, motion art kind of with their Flipgrid videos. It's pretty cool, actually. We don't have time to show you that today, but that's something that I've seen that done. But my video is done. I'm happy with the video. I'm going to go next. Hola, mi nombre es.
To play
Again,
it for
notice that I
you.
have the ability to use any of these tools while it's going to play it for you if you wanted to. Okay, let's say that I said, oh no, I forgot to do something. I can add more if I wanted to, okay? So I can come back in here and go and add more if I wanted to, and I go in here and I record. Again, same concept. So I discovered that I forgot to do something with my video, right? So I can come here and do the same thing. I go next, and notice that it added that additional part to my original one. I can change it and move it around if I wanted to and move that to the front. Discovered that I forgot to do some. So maybe that was the actual beginning that I forgot to do my introduction. I could come and change that if I wanted to. And something that every educator out there and every student has been asking for is the ability to add music to your videos. So if I click here, notice that we have all these different categories: chill, fun, energetic, inspiring. I can come in here and I can play it for myself just to hear it. Okay, maybe that's something that is probably too loud for me. Okay, I'm gonna go with the sentimental today. Let's go with the emotional. And this is probably the one that I want to use. Okay, so I'm just going to, after I preview it, I want to go and hit plus on it. Discover that I forgot to do something with my video, right? So I can come here. That's a really great job bringing the volume of the music down and not distorting your actual voice. I'll play so you can hear it. Same thing. Hola, mi nombre es. Again, notice that I have the ability to use any of these tools. So notice that it is in there, actually. The music is back there, and you can still hear it, right? So great tool to have, right? To be able to do that. Maybe I didn't like that. I can come and switch it. Okay, I can remove it if I want to and use a different one, but I was happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to go next. I'm done. My video is done. I finished it. I'm going to go next. Okay, it randomly picks an image from that video. And obviously, I'm not happy with this one. So I can actually come in here and I can select a frame if I wanted to, a better one. But it's easier to just basically take a selfie. Okay. And I'm just going to do a selfie. Okay. And I like that one. So I'm going to confirm. So that's going to be the selfie that's going to go with my video now. Okay. You could have selected a frame. It'll probably be easier, but the selfie is probably the easiest one to do too. You can upload your own photo if you wanted to, and you can add name tags if you wanted to. Over here, If there was maybe a link required to the assignment, you have the ability to throw it in there. So maybe you were working on, I don't know, Google Slides, and you are, in addition to having the video, you have to provide that presentation at the end that you're sharing with your teacher. You could do that, and you can add a description in here if you wanted to. As a teacher, you have the ability to get rid of this link and description when you set up your Flipgrid, so the little ones don't get confused, like, what do I do here, right? All they will see is submit your video, and they will just submit it, and they're going to go in there and it's going to tell do not close the application. It's going to process the video. It does a fairly fast job of processing the video, and I'm all done. I can share the link if I wanted to. I can download a QR code to show it to my parents if I wanted to. Or honestly, if you have not seen augmented reality with Flipgrid, you can take this QR code, put it next to the student's project, like if it's on the wall, let's say, and let's say that parents come to parent conference, they can use the Flipgrid app, and it actually puts it as a video next to the project they did. Great tool to have there too. So I'm done, and notice that my response is right here now. As a teacher, and we didn't talk about that, you have the ability to decide if the videos show up right away, or if the videos, you have to approve the videos before everybody else can see them. Because again, this is a social platform that you are using, and you might want the kids to be able to see their classmates' videos, but you might not, you might want to approve them before you do that, right? So let me go ahead and show you. This was my topic introductions, right? And my group that we created. So I can come in here and I can go edit topic. And over here, I have options that I can do, okay? And let's go ahead and do that right now. Settings, okay? So it's active, okay? Moderate videos, that's what I was talking about, okay? I don't want everybody to see the videos automatically when they're created. So maybe I want to be, as the teacher, I want to be able to see them before I approve them. I can put that in there. Do I want my other students to add video comments to that one, which is the way we did with that class that I was telling you at the beginning. My kids spoke in Chinese, then the other kids came and spoke in English, and it kind of became that, if I want to call it like a digital pen pal between them, where we have videos going back and forward. So you can allow video and text comments, video comments, all in text comments, or none. Maybe the first time you try this, you don't want another kid to be rude or to make a bad comment. Maybe you turn them off, and as you start getting used to the platform, and the kids start getting used, and you train them, you might want to turn that on. And I know Teresa is very careful with this, so she might have something to say about this. Teresa?
I know. I mean, you made that point exactly. Just, I mean, you get a feel for your class and just make sure they know how to use it responsibly. So, you might want to not have it on until you talk to them about the etiquette and then turn it on after that. So, yeah.
You also have the ability to have closed captions in here too, if you wanted to. So you can add that in there or turn them off if you want to. Okay, so that's in there. Schedule status. So today, it's the day we created it, and maybe we have a day when that topic goes away. Okay, maybe the new topic comes in and you don't want to have the kids confused seeing different topics. You want to only see the one that is due. So you might want to have it go away. Okay. Over here, camera response. Okay. And here, and you can have some options too. Okay. If you want to allow the kids to text, to do drawing, and so on, to have access to the board. So all of those tools that I show you, you have control as a teacher of what you allow the kids to use or not use. So again, you do have the ability to turn the expressions, like the GIFs. So maybe, as we talked about it, right, we want to train them, but we're still having that issue with those kids. Just keep using those GIFs and so on and so on. So guess what? You can just turn them off, so that ability is not there for them when they create their Flipgrid videos. Along with the sticky note, I think is such a great resource for our students, and I will leave it there. I wouldn't take that away from them. They don't have to, if they want to use it or they need it, they could, but if they don't, I mean, they don't have to use it in there. Okay. In addition, I think those are the settings that I wanted you to see right here, and you can update if you wanted. So I'm going to update the topic if that's what I wanted to do. So the moderating videos is kind of a big one that you might want to use at the beginning when you start using Flipgrid. Okay, and I can just come in here and notice that you can save the changes as your default settings, as we talked about before. So maybe that's what I want to do. From now on, all of them are going to be moderated by me. Okay, so update topics. So anytime that I create a new topic, those are going to be the settings that are going to be set up with it right there. Okay.
Just make sure, if you're going to do the moderated, make sure to let the students know, because a lot of the time the students will do their videos and they'll wonder why it's not there, and they'll do them over and over because they don't know that you're going to moderate it first. So just let them know. If you don't see it yet, don't worry. You turned it in, so students don't turn in like 5 videos.
That's a great point. Yeah. Yes. We've had kids that done like 5 videos because I don't see mine, and they keep recording and recording. So that's a great point. As the students turn them in, you'll notice that all of them will come in here. You can come and click on them to view them. Okay. So let me actually go in there. No. Oh, Yeah, you can actually hide them too. It's active or it's hidden. If you wanted to see that, you also have the ability over here to edit the response. If you wanted to edit that response, add to mixtapes. Maybe you want to take a sample of the best responses and you want to create a mixtape with those. You can actually do that. You can move responses to a different topic if you wanted to. I talked about that, right? My student did it in the wrong topic because there was 3 open and they didn't know which one it was. They just heard my instructions. They went into Flipgrid and they did it in the wrong place. So I can move it if I wanted to. I can duplicate, I can delete, I can download the videos and so on and so on, download the cover image. So I do have the ability to do that right here too. Okay. Let's see, what else am I missing? I think that is what I wanted to cover when it comes to it. Oh, there it is. So discovered that I forgot to do something with my video. So I wanted to make sure that you saw that I could play it. And the first time that I tried it, it didn't work. But again, you should be able to play it. So just to show you how I did that again, we'll go to our Spanish 1 group, right? We have the introductions. Notice that it's moderated. I can come in here and click so I can actually view the video. Discovered that I forgot to do something with my video, right? So I can come here and do. So notice that over here, we have the ability to add a public text comment because I have it set up like that. Remember, but if I just wanted to send a comment to that particular student, I can do a private comment as a teacher to give feedback. So I can come in here and say, oh, great job, or you forgot to do this and so on and so on. So I could do that in here if I wanted to do that too. Just to add, if our students decide to use their mobile device, whether it be an Android or a iOS device, they are going to have the option to use the Microsoft Lenses. Now, this is available for iOS already, and it's coming to Android soon, but we wanted you to see this because it adds a different features to it. So I'm over here on my Flipgrid and I'm ready to record. And notice that we have this little happy face that wasn't available when we were doing a recording on the desktop version. So I want you to see what this is. This is called Lenses and it's only available in the mobile version. But let me click on it and I want you to see what's going to happen. Okay, and I think what I did is I clicked on the camera, didn't I? So let me go ahead and click on the lenses and notice what's going to happen. So now it takes me into this whole new dimension, right? Where it adds this, Teresa's laughing, but yeah, it's pretty funny, right? Augmented reality, if you wanted to call it, right, to the camera, right? And I have different types of them that I can use. Notice, so the kids can have a lot of fun with this lens. Okay, center of the universe. Maybe I'm doing a project for I don't know, on astronomy, right, or on the planets, right, and I have the ability to do that as I'm presenting, and that's kind of a cool thing, right? Maybe I'm doing a math project, and now I can have this nice little guy come in here, right, as I'm presenting for my class. There's other ones. I'm just gonna kind of walk through them so you can see them. And maybe I'm underwater, right, and I'm doing a project on something that's related to water. And notice all the fish swimming around. And I'm just going to go through some of them so you can see them. There's so many of these lenses that the kids are going to love. Now I'm in space. And I don't know if you want me to go through all of them, Teresa.
Well, I'm enjoying right now. So
one right here.
It's tempting.
So notice that I can be a kind of a book over here as I'm doing my book report. And maybe I want to go back to just like a 70s kind of thing that I got going here. Not sure, but I just wanted to show you that too.
I wasn't born yet at that time. So
here you go. And I wasn't born either. That's why I didn't know. Right. And there's other ones that you can use. Oh my God, this takes me back, right? Paint. But there's so many of them. I just wanted to give you an idea that the students could use them as part of their presentation as they are going through it. So again, this is Lenses, and it's only available right now on the mobile version. And to be specific, by the time we record, this is available on the iPad version and not available on the Android, but it's coming soon. Anything you might want to add, Teresa, when it comes to that particular feature to the mobile?
No, I just think it's amazing to give the kids a chance to be creative and, do their thing. And it's fun, while they're delivering their content. It's just fun.
Yes, right. It adds another dimension, right? And the kids now are having fun. And sometimes they don't even realize they're actually learning and they're actually,
right.
articulating what they learned. So this is a great tool to have. So this again is Lenses. It's available on the mobile version right now. Okay.
So just realize all of the things that Ricardo went over, all the different features. It might look a little bit different depending if you're on Chrome or if you're on Edge. So just know that, and you might have to play around with it. It's really easy and your kids will figure it out so easily, but just know that it might look different depending on where you are. So don't be surprised by that.
That's right. So yeah, as we mentioned before, with Edge, it might look a little bit different than it looks from Chrome, and we were using Edge today, and you might have seen me sometimes kind of stumbling trying to remember where that setting was. So that's something that's going to happen. We wanted to finish though, talking about the what I mentioned at the beginning. Our district uses Canvas, so Flipgrid and Canvas have an amazing integration together, and I think I showed you that when I went to my profile here and I show you integrations right here. So you'll notice that I have some Canvas integrations in here that I did last year. So we don't want you to reinvent the wheel, okay? What we've noticed is that a lot of our teachers, if I can show you that really quick, have um, created the new Canvas courses. They probably copy their entire course from last year to this year. That brought those Flipgrid assignments. But guess what? When they go to them, when the students go to them, they don't work. And why is it that they're not working? It's because that Flipgrid integration has not been added to this new course, okay? So what you have to do, let's say that this is your new course for 21-22, you're going to click on it, okay? And remember, you copy every assignment from last year's course into this one, okay? So guess what? When we see that, what I mean is that last year, you created that integration already, okay? So this was maybe my kindergarten 2021, okay? So I created that integration in Canvas, okay? So I don't want you to go back and recreate the whole thing. All you will need to do is go to Settings, okay? Go to Apps, okay? You are going to look for Flipgrid. Okay, it's right here. You're going to add the app, and it's going to ask you for a consumer key and a secret key, okay? So as a teacher, we're going to think, okay, I got to come in here and I got to add a new integration to create a new share key and a new secret key, but you do not want to do that. Remember, you brought all those assignments from that kinder class from last year, okay? So they're already created, the settings are there, everything is set up. So what I want you to do is just go to last year's integration that you use, copy that customer key, go back over here, paste it. Okay. Now we need the share secret key. Go back. Again, I'm going to last year's class, copy that share secret key, go back to Canvas, put it in here, and then you're going to add the app. By doing this, it's going to fix every topic and every group that you might have brought from last year inside of Canvas, and everything is going to work because you used the same share key and consumer or share secret key and consumer key from last year. Anything you might want to add, Teresa?
So that's actually a great point if they're copying content from a course that used Flipgrid last year. But what if it's someone who's using Flipgrid for the first time? What would they do?
That's a great question, right? So let's say that you are not copying that content, right? So let's go ahead and go to our Flipgrid, right? I went to profile. I went to profile right here, right? I went to integrations right here, and I'm just going to create a new integration. So let's go ahead and click add new integration, okay? And then this is my Spanish one class, and I'm going to actually this time call it 2021 2022. So I remember when I used it and what I
that's
used
great
it for.
practice to put the year because you don't know, you're going to copy it next year and maybe you want another year. So that's really important.
So let's create that right now. And notice that it created it for me. It's right here. And now I'm just going to take that consumer key and let's take it back to our Canvas class and throw it in there. And we also need the share secret. So let's go ahead and grab that. Okay, I'm just doing, all I'm doing is copying right here, okay? And let's go back and let's throw it in there. And I'm going to add the app, and it's going to tell you that you added the application successfully. And if I refresh, because I never had the Flipgrid integration, you're going to notice that it's going to show up in here somewhere. If you don't see it right away, you might have to go to settings. Okay, I'm already in settings. You might have to go to navigation, and you might have to look for it. Notice that it's over here. And I did it twice because I did last year's, remember? You might do this and then don't worry about it, okay? You can come in here to apps just to show you, okay? View app configuration. I have two, we're learning together, okay? The first one that I added is not the one that I want. That was the one from last year. I'm just going to delete it, okay? Okay, now it's gone. I can go back to my navigation, okay? And kind of refresh. So if you've only added it once, it's going to be on the bottom. Notice that the other one is gone right now. I'm going to bring it to the top so I can see it. I don't suggest you having it on the top. Honestly, you don't need to use it at all. You're going to function out of assignments and creating Flipgrid. But I just wanted you to see it just so you know that it is there. I don't want you to think that I didn't add it. So I just wanted to make sure that you actually got to see it in here. And it's right there, okay? But honestly, when you create your assignments, you're not going to create them from there. So I would actually hide it. And when you create your assignments and you go to external tools and you use Flipgrid, that's the way I would do it. Again, I just wanted you to see that it was there. So best practice, let's go back to navigation and let's make it disappear.
I
Because
agree
you
with
don't need
Ricardo
it.
that causes a lot of confusion for the kids actually when they see it on the side, because they'll think they need to submit something there and then it won't show up in the right place. So
And
yeah,
what we notice is that when they go in there, they'll be able to see the topic. They'll be able to add that response. And it looks like they did the assignment. But guess what? When you go to SpeedGrader, that video is not there. So that's
right.
why we definitely want you to hide it. We want you to create the
Yes.
assignment inside of assignments using the external tool. So when the kids go in there and add their video, that's going to show up on SpeedGrader and you'll be able to create it inside of SpeedGrader. And therefore, you can send it to Aries Gradebook after that. Okay? And I think that is all you need to know when it comes to integrating it with integrating Canvas and Flipgrid. Again, if you had a course that you brought into this new year, you want to use the same integration you used last year because all of the topics are created. And if you are starting fresh, brand new, you basically just want to create a new integration like we show you by going to profile and adding a new integration. Okay. And I think that's all. I'm not sure if I missed anything, Teresa.
I mean, I think some teachers, especially new ones, are kind of asking, how do I actually integrate it in Canvas? We do have other videos that show you how to do that, because all of these settings that Ricardo did initially inside of Flipgrid, which are amazing, but luckily for us, we do have Canvas and it does integrate. You might not even have to worry about any of that. You just come in and you make your assignments and you don't have to create your topics or anything outside. Canvas will create it for you when you make the assignment. So those are a lot of extra details that we might not have time for right now, but we definitely have videos to show you how to do that. Unless Ricardo tells me there's time. I don't know.
No, that is correct. It's going to create that group and it's going to be a specific Canvas class. That does not mean though that you cannot go back
Mm-hmm.
into the educator Flipgrid account. I just want you to see it, that it will actually show it to you. Even though it was created in Canvas, it will show it to you over here, and it will tell you that this is a place. For instance, it will show you right here. It'll say somewhere in here that it was a Canvas created one. I think if I go to create a topic, it won't let me. Here it goes. This topic was automatically generated from Canvas assignment. So I'll actually show you. You can still see it, but it's going
Yeah,
to tell you that this was created inside of Canvas. And notice I don't have a way to record because you have to do it inside of Canvas. Just wanted to make sure that you do see them in your dashboard, but it knows that it was a Canvas created group and topic. Okay.
definitely. So we'll make sure to link those videos for you that take you step by step on actually how to put the Flipgrid into an assignment inside of Canvas for those of you who need to do that.
Okay. Or do you want me to show it right now? Sure, we can definitely do that. So as you're ready to do an assignment, you're just going to go to assignments, right? You're going to create a new assignment. Okay, I'm just going to call it Flipgrid sample.
Thank you, Ricardo.
Uh-huh.
I'm
You can give your directions in here, right? You can record if you wanted to have the students see the directions. But remember, you might have done that already in Flipgrid in the topic, so there's no need to do that, right? You might not have to do that. Give the amount of points that you want it to be worth. Okay. Don't forget to change to the correct group, right? If you have groups inside of Canvas as you're syncing to Aries. And over here, you're going to come in here and you're going to go to external tool. Okay. You're going to find the external tool. Remember, we added that app, so it's going to be available. Flipgrid right here. Okay. I'm going to select. And this is what, again, you're going to do assign to everyone, or depending on what you're doing. Let's give it a due date. So maybe we have the 27th as our due date, available from, let's say, yesterday. And then again, when you do have to have an end date, especially for grading periods, make sure that you keep it inside of the correct grading period. So let's make sure. For me, I wanted to go away the day that is due. Some people like to use the end of the grading period so that students have the ability to do that assignment until the end of the grading period. So it doesn't matter. I'm just going to, for this one, I'm just going to have it due this date. Okay. And then let's go ahead and save and publish. So notice that the first time you do it, it's going to open that and it's going to say, guess what? Here's your Flipgrid sample accessibility And this is what we have set up for you. And now what do you need to do? It's set up. Let's go ahead and I think you have to go to student view now, just to see what the students will see. Here it comes, and the kids will just be able to add the response to that for that specific topic, and that's
Simple
all
as
you
that.
need to do.
Mhm.
And then I think Teresa wanted to show you, because it's a great option doing it this way. Okay, notice that it actually should have added. Here it goes. It's in my grade book now. In
So
here,
you didn't have to
okay?
create the topic in Flipgrid. You created it in Canvas and it made it for you, which is a great advantage.
And once your kids record the answers, you're gonna be able to go into SpeedGrid, and you'll see their responses right here. You'll be able to grade right inside of Canvas, so it makes it a lot easier for us to use. Okay.
Yes. Yes, I'm satisfied now. Thank you.
No, definitely. We want to make sure that we cover as much as we can. But I think that was a lot of information. Hopefully, you did get something out of this. Some of the tools are incredible. Flipgrid keeps adding newer and newer tools all the time. The experience is different every time for the students, and they have a blast completing this type of assignment.
So we hope you enjoyed this first session of our student engagement sessions that we're going to be having. And if you could imagine all the possibilities, we know that, teachers were using this heavily during distance learning, but now that we're back in the classroom, you could definitely keep using these tools to keep your students engaged and with whatever you're teaching. So hopefully you found that useful. And if you have any questions, please let us know.
Yes, thank you. And like Teresa said, be on the lookout for our next engagement topic. And what is that, Teresa?
Oh, I believe that's Pear Deck, if I'm not mistaken.
Perfect. So thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, you know how to reach us. We'll put that information at the bottom of our stream today. Have a great day.